Hi guys, welcome back. Well, have you ever bought anything on eBay in haste without doing some proper research or looking into it and just purchased it because you thought it was cheap compared to other tables that you may have seen? Well, I'm afraid I'm guilty of that with this bit of gear. And not long after I bought the Victoria milling machine, I started looking for accessories that I needed to make full use of it. At the time, I was in the process of swapping all the old obsolete electrics on my Holbrook lathe. I wanted to put a twin voltage 3-phase motor on. I don't have 3-phase, so all my machinery that's 3-phase motors works on frequency drives. So I wanted to ditch the original motor, which was massive. Works with a twin speed gearbox and a brake, and it's flange mounted. So I'd picked a 3-phase motor up that was suitable, and then I had to make an adapter flange plate that would fit onto the housing that mounted the old enormous motor, and then convert that to fit the much smaller twin voltage 3-phase motor on. So there was 4 bolt holes that I had to drill into this plate. I had to get a circular plate to begin with, and then position 4 holes through it that the original motor would have bolted onto, and then I can transfer that onto the later newer motor that I'd picked up. So I started thinking, I need some more gear for this milling machine. So I thought rotary table is the way to go. So I started looking on eBay, and they're quite expensive, even second-hand ones. And then I came across this. Now, this piece of kit seemed very cheap compared to others that I'd been looking at, and it wasn't too far away from me, about 30 miles. Obviously it's too heavy to post, so I thought, yeah, we'll go for that, without really doing any homework on what the thing was. A rotary table's a rotary table, right? Well, no, it's not, no. Now, this is what's called an optical rotary table, and it's not meant for machining. This is made in Norfolk, England. Optical Measuring Tools Limited, OMT. I believe that company's been taken over by Newall now, but I may be wrong, but I think that's right. And the thing's absolutely massive. It's impossible for me to lift this up in one piece, so to get it onto the milling bed I've had to take the top table off just to lift the thing up. And when I've taken the back plate off, you've got all these electrics inside. There's a lens on that piece, and there's this glass plate that's been photo etched with markings on, and as I say, it's not meant for machining. It's really designed for precise alignment of mirrors, lenses, lasers. A bit of a giveaway is the size of the T-slots compared to another rotary table that I picked up. They're a lot smaller, so that should be a bit of a giveaway that it's not meant for heavy duty use. Now, the gearing on the crank arm is a lot lower on this table than it is on my Victoria milling rotary table. There's also a knob here which works on a planetary gear for very fine adjustment. Two locking screws either side, whereas on the Victoria there's only one. So, but these must have cost an absolute fortune when they were new. The engineering on them is unbelievable. Obviously they're a cast base, but somebody spent a lot of time putting filler on and then sanding that down and then a final coat of paint. You can see on pieces where the paint's been chipped off how deep the filler is. So somebody's gone through a lot of trouble to try and make it look nice. So I'm going to take the table off and show you the innards. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of work in making these. The gearing on the outside is all brass, and then you've got these individual pins that locate onto the base itself. So yeah, tremendous amount of work gone into making that. Right, let's take that off. Well, this is the inside of it, guys, with the table off. There's a plastic housing, and inside that, I don't know, there must be 24 rollers that the table sits on. The crank arm spins in and out as it does on a machining table, so that's the same. But yeah, that plate comes off. You can see the rollers on that, but the machining on is absolutely superb. I would not have liked to have bought one of these new. So what am I going to do with it, guys? And this must weigh about 3 times the weight that the Victoria table does. So as I said earlier, I had to take the table off, the plate off, just to lift it up. So the first thought was, let's see if I can reduce the weight. So I've taken some of the innards out, some of the electrics, but that's not made much of a difference. So I think that's junk. So you can mount this horizontally or vertically. There's feet on this side. So what I intend using it for, it'll always be horizontal. So I think I can machine these feet off. Now I think that'll reduce a lot of the weight. And I thought about drilling some holes in the side. I'll just lift it up on its side so you can see the underneath. Well, this centre section I think is can be coming out. That'll take quite a bit of the weight off. I don't think there's any need for that for what I'm going to use it for. And then there's certain pieces here that the electrics were mounted on, which would be not needed. And I should say the body is, it's a good 25mm thick, so I think drilling some holes through it won't do it much harm. And there's this section here that can be thinned down. The 2 feet will have come off. So I think there's quite a bit of weight that I can take off it just to make it a bit more manageable. But what am I going to use it for? Well, I've got the Victoria rotary table now, which is meant for machining, so I doubt if I'm ever going to do any machining with this optical table. And recently I picked up a Vertex dividing head, which you can use horizontally or vertically, so I have been using that. I've also got a dividing head, again that's a Victoria one, with the dividing plates on, and I've also got a Malco dividing head that doesn't have the dividing plates on, it just has the indentations for the degrees around the side. So let's put the table back on it. Yeah guys, once I've reduced the weight a lot, it'll probably end up just as a display table for some of my wood turning projects. Now I must have had this about 6-7 years now, and it's been sat on the floor in the corner just gathering dust, so I thought it's about time I started to get some use out of it. I didn't pay a lot for this. As I say, it was the cheapest one that I could see on eBay, and that was the main reason for buying it. I now realise why it was so cheap compared to the proper table that I should have bought. So for what I paid for it, I'm not too bothered. Just goes to show guys, the cheapest isn't always the best. Thanks for watching.